BiddieCast. It's week, I think, 15. Am I right? 14?
16.
16?
15 recap, 16 preview.
Week 16. It's the last week of the BiddieCast. We're going to have one more show after this, though.
Yeah.
Maybe another one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the playoffs go in the NFL. We'll see if we have more BiddieCast. We have special guest Anton Mariani wearing the Buffalo Braves T-shirt.
Yeah, buddy.
Represent.
Anton, did you wear that specifically for the BiddieCast to show your Buffalo pride?
Absolutely.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Basketball's starting back up. They're talking about NBA expansion. I'm like, hey, Buffalo Braves, man, let's bring them back. Come on.
Get rid of the Sabres, bring back the NBA. I'm all for that.
All right, so it's been a storyline all year long. Dave said you would not win more than 3 games. I gave him an extra half game on that. I think I said I'll give you 3.5 on this. I'm pretty
sure I set the line and then you agreed upon it. So you didn't give me shit.
I looked for it. I couldn't find it anywhere. So, we can disagree on it. Either way, he thought you would suck. You would just absolutely suck this year. And here we are. We're finding you with a championship. How's it feel?
Well, again, I think Dave was saying that just because of how my team looked at the start. I drafted poorly. I didn't understand the rules quite as league yet. It took me a couple weeks to get my rhythm. So I think Dave was just working off of, looking at my team first couple of weeks, but made some moves, figured some things out. And I'm like, all right, Dave, you put me to the test. Okay. And it's really gotten into a groove now. I think we could talk about my roster later, but I think I just made some good moves this year. And to Dave, who is one of my good friends, but also one of the people in my life who bashes me the most, it's nice to get back at him once in a while.
So that's actually, you kind of alluded to it. One of my biggest questions for you is, do you think there was a move that you made? It didn't even need to be like a trade or anything, but was there something that just clicked and you're like, oh, I need to do this, or this is what changed my season around?
Well, yeah, because I was thinking about this. I figured you would ask something like this. So I remember exactly where it was when I put in the bid for Deshaun Watson, and then I got accepted. I'm like, oh, I paid way too much for Watson. Oh, this ain't good. But I'm like, throughout the year, I'm like, oh, I gotta keep him though. I have to show that he's some value. But then Dave was able to do a trade with me where I got Rodgers and he got Watson, and I'm like, even then I was still hesitant about it. But that me pulling that trigger in that trade, which I was hesitant about, definitely helped that thing turn me around. Because once I did that trade, it started to really build up. And then I'll also say too, one free agent pickup who's been huge for me has been Beasley. Just, he's been sitting on the waiver. He was sitting on the waiver for half a year. Picking him up, he's been a huge flex player where I had Keenan Allen go out last week, the last minute, put Beasley in 21 points. He's been a
Cole Beasley became a solid fantasy player. I mean, he's about to hit 1,000 yards receiving for the first time in his career. And, also, I mean, to touch on that trade that we made, you actually look at the overall performance for Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson. Aaron Rodgers did slightly better, not a whole lot better than Deshaun Watson. I think the key part for you in that trade was Mike Davis. For that time when he was filling in for Christian McCaffrey, I mean, there were some games where he took you over. He took you over and put you out. I think Mike Davis was the person who got you that.
Yeah, he got me going for a bit.
Take a look at your roster, shall we?
So it's what we got here.
Let's take a look at last week's game first of all. You started Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, who was another guy that I wanted to key in on as being one of your MVPs. What I actually found interesting, you did say Cole Beasley, but the interesting part about that is you chose to start him at the right times. There were a bunch of weeks where Cole Beasley put up dud numbers, and I'll show you some of these. Like you have a 4.4 here, a 6.9 there, nice, a 9.5, a 9.1, but you somehow miraculously found ways to leave him out of your lineup on a lot of those weeks and start him on these weeks where he actually took off and got those 30-point games.
Well, I look at the matchups in those, so obviously being a huge Bills fan, I'm looking at the matchups. So last week with Keenan Allen out, I'm like, well, Beasley, as soon as I heard the Denver guys were had nobody in the secondary. I'm like, oh, they're gonna throw the ball over, man. It's 40-degree weather, nice weather for Josh to throw in, higher elevation. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna throw the ball a lot.
I
So
love
for
how
me,
you're on a first name basis with him, by the way.
so I mean, I think that was the matchup thing. The 1 week he really went off, and I did leave him on the bench the 1 week. I remember that. I didn't need it. I still won. I do remember he went off, and I think that was his career week too. He got like 30 plus points that week. And I left him on the bench. But overall, yeah, been solid there for sure. And then Montgomery, yeah, a lot of people underestimated Montgomery, Sean, including my opponent this week, who I won a bet with easily.
Yeah. Well, again, Montgomery, look at his numbers. He came on at the right time for you. Right after that bye, something happened with Chicago after that bye, and they're like, "Oh, this is how you play football." Because the first half of the season, they were absolutely terrible, and they're still arguably not a good team. But they've really started to show some spark here, and that last game where Montgomery had 32 carries. That's huge. That's a season high for him by a lot. And so I just see him turning it on at the right time for you. And that's got to be exciting to have him in your lineup for the championship game, especially when he's on fire like this.
Yeah, he's on fire. Once he ran, obviously, as you can see, I needed every point I got. I made all the right moves this week. I had no room for error against Spend It Like Beckham, who has been amazing this year. Obviously, had the best record. And so I made all the right moves. Keenan Allen said, "Don't sit me." He literally said that before I sat him. Like, no, I don't like it.
Don't sit me. I'll put up 2.6.
Yes. So like, no, I heard. As soon as I heard there's going to be a snap count, like, no, I don't need that. Beasley's going to get you more than that. Mostert, he's went back on the IR, by the way. So him coming back, I thought would have been a boost for me, but he's literally just put him back on the IR. He did nothing coming back really. So unfortunately, he didn't work out this year.
Injuries really brought him down. I still like Mostert. Unfortunately, he just can't stay healthy.
And then I had to make a last second. And speaking of tight end by committee, Krzyzewski, I knew he was going to be out, so I went and put in a waiver wire for the Washington tight end Thomas, and then I didn't get him because Ben outbid me by $1.
Oh,
that's sneaky. That is sneaky.
You can't outbid for a tight end with the tight end by committee.
Outbid my $1. I'm like, what? So I had to pick up this guy from Minnesota. I never heard of before. He did okay, 6.7, not terrible for a tight end. At least got me something. I needed every point I could get. So, and even then, Evan Ingram for him, I was up by 10 points. And better with Beckham, Evan Ingram was getting some late points. I was like, please don't throw it to him anymore. Please don't throw it to him anymore. I'm pacing in my living room. And luckily, they sacked McCoy there, and that ended that. I was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, whew, okay. So, but I had to make I had no room for error this past week, especially with Seki going out. So, but everyone, worked out. So I'm happy with myself. It was honestly a tough challenge for sure. Mahomes going there, it was.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna go
this
up.
was a really good game. Again, I think if you take defenses out of this, the score is obviously not as close as it appears. And I think that's what we should do next year, because defenses are goofy. Like how do you get a 2
Wholeheartedly agree.
here against the Jets, but then the Bills
Exactly.
against the at Denver getting 11? It's so wild. It's so unpredictable. And I get it. It's gambling, but like I was saying to you guys off camera earlier, let's get rid of the vig. Let's try to make this a league where you have to make smart moves to be able to win games. And we're already inching to that, but really the defense made this a whole lot closer than it really should have been.
Yeah, I guess. But also, you got to remember, too, let's just be critical. For me, I'm looking at the matchup, and I'm saying, I thought he was going to bench Cooper for sure. And Cooper, he didn't bench. I'm like, I could tell that matchup against San Francisco.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of points on his bench. He left on there. Johnson, 26. Corey David.
Well, I looked at this before, and I'm like, I can't blame him for starting Cooper. You're not going to start both A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. You're just not going to do that. Maybe T.Y. Hilton against Houston, but you're not going to put David Johnson in there. I thought Cooper was the right start, and it's just unfortunate that he only put up.
Yeah, but are you saying that you shouldn't start two wide receivers on the same team? on the same
It's
side. I do the
dangerous.
same.
You're shooting yourself in the foot at that point in time.
Yeah, I would not
matchup.
start two wide receivers in the same team unless they're two players that are very consistently getting a high amount of points.
Right. Like on your team, Anton,
Yeah.
even Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley. I mean, the last 5 weeks, I mean, it's been Josh Allen feeding them to the ball and them to only outside of a tight end here or running back there. I mean, the Bills are about to have 2,000-yard receivers for the first time since 2000.
Insane.
So
Yeah,
I didn't realize Cole was that
your
close to that.
play. I mean,
let's start talking about some of the players. Who is the MVP this year? The Bills have plenty to go around. You can call it Josh Allen, you can call it Stephon Diggs, you can call it Cole Beasley. But who's our fantasy football MVP? Are we going with Patrick Mahomes just because he has the most points, or should we look at someone who's maybe like a running back, like a Dalvin Cook, putting up 20 more points than the very next best running back, and basically hundreds more than a top 5 running back?
I mean, when you look at MVP, you're looking to see what player played the biggest role in their team's success, right? That's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Who played the biggest role for the team's success? You look at Patrick Mahomes, who is on Bend It Like Beckham, and you can argue, I mean, he had a great team all around. I mean, there's a lot of players on his team that helped him out.
Mahomes
Look at
and
Josh Allen on Ben's team. I mean, he had Dak Prescott for the first start of the season, and that he got hurt. Josh Allen has consistently been performing for Ben's team. Josh Allen has been the main reason that Ben is in the position that he is in. The reason, I mean, he's got a great lineup. Don't get me wrong, but you take away Josh Allen and you put any other quarterback in there who's not named Mahomes, and I don't know if Ben is going to be making the playoffs at that point in time because Josh Allen, he's averaging almost 30 points a game.
Oh, well,
so my vote is Josh Allen is the MVP in fantasy league just because he is. I think he is a much more dual threat than Patrick Mahomes. Because Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he'll run.
He's
quick,
averaging
but
a point less than Mahomes, though.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. Mahomes put up some numbers this year.
Sure, it's to be expected,
Right. I mean, there was one game that Mahomes had less than 20 points.
Right.
That's incredible.
He didn't do that good against Buffalo either. He only had 22 against Buffalo. He didn't do that good either. But I'm with Dave.
Of the 80.
Oh, there he is.
Tight end by committee. He's joined the BiddieCast. Ben, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Betty?
What's poppin', dude?
We already went.
We're just talking about your team.
What?
We already went through Anton's team and his game against Chris. Very close game. You want to walk through your game really quickly because
Sure.
this is your first championship berth here.
Yeah. In this league.
In this league.
Well, this league is 2 years old, so I mean.
Exactly.
So we were actually just in a discussion about MVP, and I don't think you would argue with this that Josh Allen is your MVP.
For sure.
Darren
Waller's close.
Make an argument for Josh Allen being MVP of the league.
I mean, normal QBs get like what? A good day for QBs, like a 25-pointer. He's like getting knock on wood, I hope this continues, but he's been getting like over 30 on average, I would say.
If you scroll up to the top there, it'll tell you what his average is.
His average is 26.4.
That's awesome.
Average is 28.6.
28.6. Yep.
And
incredible.
And Mahomes, where is Patrick Mahomes here? Who is also a playoff quarterback, is averaging 29. No, he's 29.7. So Mahomes also put up some big numbers.
Yeah, he's had like a couple huge days though, where I would get. He's in the same league. Yeah. The whole point is that Josh Allen's in the same league with Patrick Mahomes.
But my argument here is that there were at least 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. You could potentially count this as 5, where he didn't score more than 20 points. That's only happened to Mahomes once. So why would Josh Allen be the MVP over Mahomes? And I think this is a great question for you to answer, Ben.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. You might be able to look up what the price that they were got for. I would guess I got Josh Allen a little bit cheaper than Mahomes.
Yes, I would guess that too.
$22.
Yeah, I bet Mahomes is up in the fourth. Like, I bet Mahomes like 41.
41.
Oh, man, look at that.
He nailed it on the dot. Nice, 41.
So yeah, all right. I would say that's a solid argument. For the price, you definitely got a bargain.
And I would also say too as well is that I think Mahomes, we're talking about MVP. We said this earlier. Mahomes had a good team around him. You could pick a few guys on that team who also carried Ben Beckham through to the best record in the regular season and a really close game against me in the the semis there. But I would say definitely, with Dak Prescott going out for Ben, that's a huge loss for him. Josh Allen really stepped up.
Are you essentially just repeating what I just said like 2 minutes ago and trying to take credit for it?
Yeah.
I'm making the point that earlier because Ben didn't hear it, so I'm trying to point out Ben.
So Ben,
I think it's about good drafting too. I think the MVP of my team is fucking me.
That's good.
I do want to ask.
I drafted really good, and I had a solid bench, and that's where when Dak went out, it was easy to replace him with my third quarterback. My third stringer was Tom Brady. So,
was there a point in the season that you, and I asked Anton the same question earlier, was there a point that you made a move, whether it was a free agent pickup or a trade or something else happened where it really turned your season around to a point where you're like, oh wow, I've got a really good team
now? Hold on, let me pull my team up on my phone.
I want to say what I think was a huge turning point for Ben. And it was relatively recently. I think it was Austin Eckler coming back from injury.
Oh, well, yeah,
because Austin Eckler, I think you can argue with, besides Christian McCaffrey, who was hurt this whole season, I don't think there's a better pass catching running back in the league than Austin Eckler.
So here's what I'm saying.
He's only put up about 60 points.
I'm not gonna sit here and try to I don't want to sit here and try to gloat and be like I'm amazing.
But he's gonna do it.
Here we go.
But I think when it comes to fantasy football, I'm really good with planning on timing and everything. And I looked ahead to when Austin Eckler was going to come back. I knew I had about 3 weeks after. I think I had. I had another running back. I don't know. I was short on running backs for 3 weeks at one point, and I knew I had to plan for those 3 weeks, and that's when I was really shopping around that McKinnon trade, and I got Dave DeBite and got Hunton to really fill that space, and then right afterwards. It's right when Hunt dropped off is when Eckler popped in.
Yep. Hunt had a nice little stretch, kind of from the beginning of the season to maybe the bye-ish, and that was a lot of time that Eckler missed right in here. So yeah,
I only got one red that, but he filled that 3-week gap that I needed.
So this week it is Anton versus Ben. I don't know what I just did here. Let's go back. If you would like to load.
What's going on here right now?
I don't know. It just stopped. It's ESPN, man. All right.
I think it's user error.
Maybe it might be, but we're gonna get there. There we go. So currently, Ben, you are favored by about 4 points.
4 points, which means nothing.
7 to be exact. And yes, you're exactly right. It means absolutely dog shit. Dave, I'm not going to let you make the prediction first.
Yo,
okay.
Wait. Anton.
Yeah.
All those questionables, is that just now?
So yeah, you want to talk about the questionable? So Diggs practiced today, so he should be good to go. He practiced today. he had that ankle little thing, but he's practicing today already, full practice today, so he should be good. Gasecki, he was
just
a
got
game
pulled
time
off the
decision on
COVID
Sunday.
list.
Didn't start. So, huh?
He just got pulled off the COVID list, I think.
No, not Gasecki. No, he was hurt last week. He
No,
had an arm injury.
I'm thinking I'm putting their running back. Who's their running back that just got pulled off?
Oh, Gaskin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was gone too. Yeah. And then Allen, obviously, he was on a snap count last week, if you remember. That's why I pulled him off. So I think that's why he's questionable too. So I think all three of them are going to play. If I don't, I really only have one guy on my bench I could really throw in there.
We have like 5
Okay.
questionables in a row right there.
So Tariq
The
Hill's
heart of his
questionable.
lineup too. Right down the heart of his lineup.
Yeah.
I didn't see Tariq Hill till right now, so he must have been limited. So
It has something to do with his neck because he
So-
lacks a neck. So anytime he hurts his neck, it's an extra little thing that he has to deal with.
So Ben, where's the strength in your lineup? If you had to pick one player that if this guy goes off, I've got to win.
Waller.
Anton, same question for you.
Ben's gonna love this answer. Montgomery.
Very good
Montgomery,
answer.
the guy who you doubted all year, the guy who I wanted to trade you to you. You're like, nah, Bell's better, man. And I made that
Anton,
bet.
where's your weak
No.
spot right now?
But let's go back up to that trade real quick. The whole point is that you were trying to tell me what I needed, and I was saying I don't need what you're telling me I need because I didn't need a running back at that time.
He has
So you were
both
trying to
Bell
force
or
a trade on me
Hurts.
that wouldn't have been beneficial to me because I was already fully at capacity for what I needed in that region.
I can only
Also,
imagine what the trade talk between Ben and Anton sounded like. If I could be a fly on the wall when that was happening.
Trade talks between Anton and me, at least, which makes me think it's Anton and anyone, is Anton telling you what you need.
He's trying to give you advice. Hey, looks like you can use this, man. I got this. I could use this in your team.
Well, Anton, tell him what he needs right now. What does Ben need to beat you in this championship?
Oh God, I can't do that because I'm in the championship now against him. And I told you guys already in confidence, and be like, "Oh, that ain't that big of a deal." So honestly, Ben seems solid. And here's the thing, too. I mean, heck, man, he could put Goddard in there and Thomas in there. He's got 3 solid tight ends right now, man. Any one of those guys could be thrown in.
He is the tight end by committee.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I wouldn't expect any less than 3 tight ends.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got that.
too.
Otherwise, you're just the itty bitty fantasy football committee.
There you go.
There's honestly at this point, and I was looking at to see if there's anybody on waivers he would need to pick up on player personnel wise. Nobody, man. His team's solid at this point. That's why he got here, man. He had the most points, right, guys, last week too? He had the most points.
Yes.
So,
Ben, where do you see fear in Anton's lineup?
Tight end. Straight up. Kaseki goes out, he's got no one.
No. I meant.
I don't want to jinx myself. I don't like talking shit before the game.
I meant, who are you most scared of in Anton's lineup?
Oh. A-Rod.
Steroid taking
defense is
motherfucker.
bad, man. Yeah, Tennessee's defense hasn't been looking good, and it's a big game for the Packers.
Farm. Do you think
So,
it's going
he
to
had
be
a
a
little-
discount double check on week 16? A little discount double check? Put up
He
maybe
had a
40
better
points
week.
on 10?
I need the Packers to win out in order for them to really secure that first round bye. But it's like, how do I'm playing A-Rod.
And I asked you this question on the chat, Ben. If it is by, and I would love this personally, Packers, Bills in a Super Bowl, who are you rooting for in that?
Oh man, it's so close. I don't know if I can honestly answer that, which kind of says a lot. You know, I'm a Packers fan first, but if the Packers won it in the last decade, the Bills have never won it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the Bills happen to make it to the Super Bowl, it's like, it's one of those things in the back of my head, I'm like, how do I root against the Bills if they happen to make it to the Super Bowl? The Packers are, let's be real, the Packers are like a top team.
Of course.
So it's like,
It's
I'm like,
time.
all right, they'll probably be back in the next decade.
Yeah.
The Bills, you don't have the same confidence.
I don't know. The Bills are great. I wouldn't be shocked if they lost this year if they still went. Like, I think the Bills are here to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously. So it's going to be tough. I was just curious on that. So that's a good no. But
Well-
I would say as well, you can celebrate in the city you live in if they win the Super Bowl. You would be by yourself celebrating if the Packers won.
Yeah.
Your outside curiosities aside, I'm sure we have some curiosities about who's going to win the BiddieCast playoffs and have a big bad ice in their hand after this week.
Have a big what?
Either myself or Dave are going to need to chug a big boy ice.
If you guys to pick different people, you guys.
Well,
we're going to.
I don't want to know who you guys picked. I don't want to know now who you guys picked.
I already know who I'm gonna pick.
Don't say it. Don't tell me.
Unfortunately for you, Dave, it's not quite your choice yet because I'm going to go first and I'm going to pick Ben.
Wait, hold on. Why do you get to go first? I'm just curious. I beat you in the regular season. I mean, I should have home field advantage here.
Well, you don't.
I have a feeling they're both picking. I think they're both picking you, Ben. I have a good
Listen, man. Yeah, I mean,
I don't like overconfidence going into things. You know, I like just. It's what it is. You talk shit afterwards if you win.
Can you do me a favor, Sean? Can you pull up Josh Allen's performance against the Patriots earlier this season? I know he carved him up yards wise, but how did he do? 14 points. Probably his lowest.
And he did not carve him up yards wise.
Oh, they ran the ball a lot that game.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, you look back to that last game when Josh Allen did. He didn't really do a lot, but he didn't have to because the run dictated the game there. Stephon Gilmore was out in that game. Stephon Gilmore's not playing in this game, so not a whole lot has changed on the defensive side. If you look at, again, I have been a big fan of Austin Eckler. Even before, he's been on Ben's team, Austin Eckler has always been high on my radar because of his pass catching ability. Aaron Jones, can he kind of get back into his groove with that kind of pass first? Aaron Rodgers, Deontay Adams, it's championship caliber wide receiver quarterback combo between Aaron Rodgers and Deontay Adams.
Who's Deontay Adams?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you talking about Deontay Johnson on the Steelers or Devontae Adams?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Devontae Adams.
Wow.
Wow.
First time I thought I was just hearing things. Second time, no, these ears are working fine.
They're working fine. So I'll give you one little thing that I always do, which helped me.
Let me finish my thought, please.
Oh, I thought you were done. My apologies.
No, you interrupted me. How could I be done if I was interrupted?
He's muted.
Anyways, so having said that, I was leaning towards picking Ben. The reason I am now going to pick Anton is because of this. That prior performance by Josh Allen against the Patriots, and not saying he played bad because he didn't need to, so he played just fine when it comes down to actually playing. He didn't make any big mistakes. Tom Brady against Detroit, I love that matchup. Detroit's got a terrible secondary. That's kind of push. But Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's been the best, second best, top three quarterbacks all season long. He never really had a bad game. David Montgomery, Stephon Diggs. I mean, if Anton chooses to put Cole Beasley in there, I mean, I don't know if he's going to have the kind of success they had last week with both those guys, but it's funny because if Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley have a game, then Josh Allen had himself a game, right? So it's tough.
Yep. But
just for the interest of making it fair, so somebody wins this bet between me and Sean begrudgingly. This is close. I really don't know who to pick. I was leaning towards Ben just because I have been a fan of his lineup for a long time. I'm gonna go with Anton.
And Anton wants to say something, but he's on mute because there's no one to stop talking.
My apologies. Sorry about that, Dave, cutting you off. I forgot about your point. My apologies. But you actually brought into my point right there, which is I like this trick a lot. I did it last week with Mahomes and Hill, because every time Mahomes threw a touchdown to Hill, that's more points for me than it's for Mahomes. So same thing here. I want Josh to throw touchdowns to Diggs because I get more points for Diggs touchdowns than Josh Allen is to throw any touchdowns.
If Diggs goes off, then I get points. But if Josh Allen goes off, you don't necessarily get points.
So
right.
Correct. So, but I need who to throw to Diggs. That's correct. If he doesn't go to Diggs, then that hurts me a lot.
Or potentially Beasley if you're going to play that game.
Well, and we'll see with Hill because again,
Absolutely.
I think Allen will go out there, but if Hill or Allen are declared out, then I'm going to put in Cole. So, and Cole's Monday night, so I have to be really on the lookout for the injury reports prior to those games, just to make sure they are on, and I'll have to be very vigilant. So, it's a tough game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm all the teams I saw in the playoffs coming into it. The one team I was afraid of was Ben's. So, and then I had a good feeling that was going to happen. I'm like, that's going to be me and Ben.
Well, let's see how
it happened to be the case.
Out. It's going to be an exciting matchup. I think it's going to be a very close game.
Is there a bet between you two?
Just the one that obviously I won. I don't know if Ben wants to do something for this. I'm down for something on this.
Championship game. You got it.
All right, so I'll bet you $50 on this game. So if you win, and you get 300, and if I win, then I get 300.
Wait. So wait. I thought the payout was 300, 200. Am I wrong with that?
I'm kidding, because it's a $50 swing either way. I'm not going to bet anymore.
It's a $50 swing.
Oh, I was going to say that doesn't make sense. So,
yeah. You could go down to
that's
a
why I got confused.
And up to a 350.
How about
Ben?
I'm not going to bet anymore.
Ben, I have an idea. Something small, nice, and fun. Okay. If I lose, I will send you a nice present, a Packers present or something nice and Packers wise for you as a present. Okay. Nothing crazy. And then if I win, you'll send me something small and nice of Bills gear. Something small and nice, nothing crazy either. Just send to each other for that. How's that sound?
All right. I dig it.
Cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
We have a Biddy bet.
Also, it'll be something. You gotta have something fun in that. So,
Biddy bet for the Biddy Championship. I'm looking forward to it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on today's show. Any last thoughts?
Yep.
Merry Christmas.
Good luck, Anton.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Good luck, Ben. Been fun. Thanks, Dave, for believing in me. Took you long enough. Appreciate it.
I only picked you because I was kind of forced. So don't have too much.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much for joining the show. Dave, any last thoughts before they leave?
Merry Christmas. Don't get COVID.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Well, Hanukkah's over now.
Yeah.
Happy Chanukah.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Chanukah.
Happy Chanukah,
Chanukah.
as Smokey Robinson says. Happy Chanukah.
And go fuck yourself.